My name is Mike Julazadeh, J-U-L-A-Z-A-D-E-H, Fire Marshal, City of Charleston. I have with me Lieutenant George Bradley, Charleston Police Department. So we are outside of the area of 60 Fenwick Hall Alley. This is an apartment complex that's currently under construction. They have multiple buildings that are in various phases of construction right now. At about 6:15 p.m., 911 started receiving calls reporting a possible fire. The initial notification indicated there was possibly a house fire off of the roadway. And then after that, there were several other 911 calls that came in. Fire units responded, and they arrived in approximately 5 minutes from the initial alarm time. And when the crews arrived, and this were crews made up of Charleston Fire Department, Johns Island Fire Department, James Island, and our response partners. When they arrived, they reported that one of the buildings was fully involved. And this was a apartment building, again, that was still under construction. It was not, the apartment building was still under construction, was not finished yet, but it was enclosed. As they arrived, one building was fully involved, and the fire was spreading to a second building that was also under construction. Crews focused their attentions on the second building because the first building was so well involved at that time. Shortly after arrival, the first building did collapse. This was, again, a 3-story apartment building, wood frame construction. Crews focused on the second building, and then there was also fire noted at a leasing building that was built in the area, and they controlled that fire fairly quickly. Crews had to operate in a defensive mode, which they were not able to go into the structures that were fully involved due to their safety. With these apartment buildings that are under construction, they're wide open. The fire can move very quickly through them, and it can create a very unsafe environment for the firefighters. So out of abundance of caution, as well as the involvement of the fire, they did switch to that defensive mode fairly quickly. The first alarm package was upgraded to bring a structure fire response. There was a question earlier about whether or not this went to a second alarm fire. It did not. There were additional units brought in, but it was not a full second alarm fire. There was one injury, one firefighter that suffered from possible heat exhaustion. He was actually checked out on scene and released by EMS. He was not transported. Again, the buildings were under construction, so they were not occupied. No other injuries were reported, and we are looking for any photos or videos that the public may have. If they could submit those to our email account at cfdmedia@charleston-sc.gov. Again, we're looking for any photos, videos that could be out there that could help us piece together the timeline of events, as well as gather information on the incident. Ongoing investigation right now, we do have Charleston Fire Department with their Fire Marshal's Office, Charleston Police Department, the detective unit out here working through the scene. They're going to work through the night, do as much as we can tonight, and then we're probably going to have to secure the scene for the rest of the evening until daylight, and then continue the investigation. Any questions?
Thank you for sharing that with us first of all.
Was ATF on scene at any point in time during the investigation?
So there is an ATF investigator here. He's actually working with our office doing some training, so he is here participating in the investigation. Any questions?
Can you tell us how big the property is that was affected by the fire?
In terms of size, or?
Yes, that was actually burnt.
So I don't have an exact number of units, but most of these apartment buildings were designed to hold somewhere between 28 and 36 units. So it's one of those models, model style buildings. I would say it's probably one of the 30 or 32 unit size buildings that was completely destroyed.
And just again, there's no current indication of where exactly the fire started or what started it?
No, investigation's ongoing at this time. We don't have information.
Is there any belief at all that this was possibly arson?
Too early investigation. Again, our initial role here is origin and cause investigation, and that's going to be ongoing probably for several days, and we want to gather as much information as possible before jumping to any conclusions.
The people who were displaced from the apartments nearby, when will they be let back into their apartments?
I don't have an answer for that. Lieutenant Bradley, do you have an answer on that?
Yes, so the ones that were affected next door, the roadways are now open back up, so all the owners or occupants and residents are free to come back to their apartments.
All right, thank you all very much.